Okay, so scriptures on restoration. Psalms 51:12. Restore to me the joy of your salvation and uphold me with a willing spirit. So restore to me the joy of your salvation. And within salvation, there is a great abundance of joy. And when you think of that in the fact, you think, how can anyone take someone's joy? People are doing it daily. But to have a connection where your Father is consistently restoring joy into you, it's as if a replenishment of life, a replenishment of happiness, a replenishment of abundance, which is joy, right? So, and uphold me with a willing spirit. So by you being upheld with a willing spirit, you're allowing yourself to be open to receive the joy that the Father is consistently pouring into you, regardless of your predicament, regardless of your situation, regardless of who you may share a home with, or who you may work with, or who you may share a workspace with, who you may be in union with, who you may have any types of connections to. Your connection to the Father is consistently pouring into you, which is joy and abundance, right? Isaiah 61:7. Instead of your shame, you will receive a double portion. And instead of disgrace, you will rejoice in your inheritance. So basically, it's like what I am actually going through now, which is quite a lot of trials and tribulations. And I know I'm not the only person that is also feeling that. But instead of me feeling shame for having a bit of lack, I'm choosing to continue to have faith in this walk of these trials and tribulations in this dry season, knowing that as stated in Isaiah 61:7, that I will be receiving a double portion. And instead of disgrace, I will rejoice in my inheritance, and so will you. Going through the dry season and going through trials and tribulations are very difficult and very sad. You are in the enemy's camp. You have set up in the enemy's camp. You are living in the enemy's camp. You are learning and understanding everything that before you didn't have the eyes to see. But God has removed the scales from your eyes for you to be able to understand. And instead of sitting in shame and sitting in lack and sitting in complaining, he is continuously pouring joy into your willing spirit. He's continuously pouring love into you so that you can embody grace, because you know that your double portion shall be anointed to you. You shall be rejoicing in your inheritance. Jeremiah 30:17. But I will restore you to health and heal your wounds. But I will restore you to health and heal your wounds. We know that these agents have a tendency of wanting to find ways to steal your destiny, bind you to them, cause a great deal of stagnation and delay. One that I experienced most recently is the tying of your feet when you're sleeping. And I recently learned that that is a way to transport you in your dream realm to a unsavory space, or finding ways to steal your destiny, or finding ways to bind you up, or like I stated earlier, making sure there's stagnation, because if they can't stop you, they don't mind stagging you along, and causing that for you, so that you start to believe that your dry season is your future, so that you start to believe that this is the only way, that it's not going to get any better. You start to actually believe that your 40 years in the wilderness your 40 days or 40 years in the wilderness is actually what's causing you a great deal of harm, that was actually causing you to not be able to move forward in life. that it is you and everything that you're doing, and you're not enough, or you're not moving fast enough, or you're not producing enough, or you're not creating enough, or you're not putting yourself out there, you're not networking. But honestly, what you need to practice more is faith. What you need to practice more is trust. So when you focus on that and you notice that your health is lacking, or these wounds that they inflicted upon you, either it be spiritual or physical, has caused you to feel a bit of unhappiness, a bit of sadness, a bit of feeling like this is it, like woe is you, there will never ever be any better. He's reminding you in Jeremiah 30:17, but I will restore you to health and heal your wounds. So if your wound is the heart, where you look at your family, you can't even understand that the rabbit hole goes that deep with what they've been doing, and they've been doing it for so long, and for to so many individuals within the bloodline, in order to keep these covenants with these little G's and not the big G. You then notice that all you can do is pray for individuals. You can't literally continue to save them or shield them any longer, because the Father has removed the scale from your eyes in order for you to see that if you continue to find a way to interfere with what He's doing, all it's going to do is cause for you, as I was watching the video earlier, she was saying, for you to have to feel that wrath. And that's good for them too, because that's a lesser blow. They are willingly, knowingly acting and participating in idolatry. And if they can get you to blindly follow it, they don't care, because all they're concerned about is making sure that they have a covering. And if they know that they can receive a covering through your grace, because you're connected to the Father, then that's all that matters to them. Because they're not concerned about you, they're concerned only about themselves. They willingly know what they're doing and what they're acting upon, but at the end of the day, they're not concerned. They know that they can throw that magic back at you. They can throw interference into your life, because they know that you're divinely connected to the Father. They know that you are the pipeline. They know that you are royalty. So therefore, why would they care about you when they know that they have been cut off? That there is no way that they can get back into the kingdom. There's no way that they can get back into Father's good graces. Yeah, He can forgive, but is He accepting you into His kingdom? No. Just because you used to be friends with somebody, or you in a union with somebody, and they knowingly stole from you, they knowingly cheated on you, they knowingly went and cheated with your partner, do you really want to go back to being with this person? Do you really want to go back to being friends with these people? Do you really want to befriend a thief when you know that this thief has stolen from you so many times? Do you willingly want to have a connection with someone knowing that they have treated you like you have been nothing to them? And I'm not saying that people can't change. I'm not saying that people can't heal. But in the back of your mind, you're going to always know that this person is a thief. This person is a cheater. This person's a manipulator. This person have never had my best interest at heart from the beginning. So if He showed you the wicked ways of their heart, that does not mean for you to go and pass judgment onto them. And that does not mean for you to host up your life in order for you to shield and protect someone. That means that you can pray for somebody and find a way to move out of the situation that you're in, because come out from among them. Right? Come out from amongst them. So He will restore you to health and heal your wounds. Galatians 6:1. Brothers and sisters, if someone is caught in a sin, you who are spiritual should restore them gently. And by that, my idea of it would be to pray for them. I feel that He doesn't want you to, and the reason why I say that He doesn't want you to waste, I don't want to say waste, but spend so many countless hours and years on trying to save someone when you really are not appointed to save anyone. That's what the Father is there for. All you can do is show them the way. Like they say, you can bring a horse to the water so he can drink, but you can't make him drink. That's what you do. That's how you're able to do that. And trust me, I know, spending so much time and energy on thinking that I can yield someone, it's wrong, because everyone's given free will. And if I go out my way to yield someone in order to make them follow in the path that I feel that is what's best, that's not allowing them to have free will. That then I will be practicing witchcraft, because I will feel that I know what is best for them. All I can do is pray for them, show them the tools, show them the way, and it's truly up to them to choose what it is that they want. They either want to follow the big G or they want to follow the little G, and it's nothing that you can do in order to counteract that, because the more time and energy you spend on trying to save someone, you could have been uplifting so many other individuals and showing so many other individuals the path to the Father. But truly, the only one that can save is his son, and that's the only way to enter to connect with him. So, brothers and sisters, if someone is caught in sin, you who are spiritual should restore them gently. And that's how you restore them gently. You don't restore them forcefully, trying to get them to believe what it is that you believe. And you do not waste a lot of your life thinking that you are doing something when technically all they were doing was making sure that they had you in a place of stagnation. So, Hosea 6:1. Come, let us return to the Lord. He has torn us to pieces, but he will heal us. He has injured us, but he will bind up our wounds. Hosea 6:1. Come, let us return to the Lord. He has torn us to pieces, but he will heal us. He has injured us, but he will bind up our wounds. Sometimes the Father has to break you down in order to repair you and restore you. And what I learned about that is that even now in this place of these trials and tribulations, I had to be reminded over and over that man cannot build me back up, nor can man bring my life back in order. That me relying on anyone that is outside of the Father, outside of God, will never restore me in the ways that God can restore me, will never repair me in the ways that God can repair me. I felt that I had to go through the abuse. I had to go through homelessness. I had to go through, yet again, believing that, others are there to catch me, because I had worked so effortlessly to catch others. And I had to endure these lessons in order for me to know that it does not begin or end with man. It begins and ends with the Father. When I stop placing all of my trust in man, I then learn that it's okay. I moved from the energy of feeling a great deal of jealousy, because I couldn't understand why I had restored so many other lives, that I had bent over backwards and jeopardized my own dreams in order to be there for others, where I have literally poured any and everything that I had into individuals, but never had received that back in return. And I learned that I was extending myself and overextending myself to receive love, because I thought if I extended it, it showed how much I cared about these individuals and how important and valuable they were to me. But in the same sense, I also learned that I was being foolish, and I was being selfish, and I was being just, it was as if I was allowing my soul to be malnourished. I wasn't feeding or pouring back into myself, which would be me reading the word, which would be shown as me connecting with Father, and connecting through the word, through spiritual food, through abundance, through joy, through prayer. And even though I was praying and my prayer life was on fleek and everything was literally beautiful, I was still showing up for others. And that was me more so giving into the world, and not giving into him. I wasn't connecting with him on that level. I was communicating with him. When I look back at it, I was literally courting God from many, many years, but I was never finalizing anything. I was never actually solidifying a real relationship, a real commitment with him. And I was pouring so much into others and not noticing how selfish I was to the connection that I had with the Father. It was basically like unrequited love. It was like a one-sided relationship, even though I thought that I was really pouring into him, but I wasn't. So come, let us return to the Lord. He has torn us to pieces, but he will heal us. He has injured us, but he will bind our wounds. So allow him to love on you. Allow him to repair you. Allow him to heal you, because he is the only way. 2 Chronicles 7:14. I will restore the fortunes of my people Israel, and they shall rebuild the ruined cities and inhabit them. Mm-hmm. So regardless of him breaking you down, the city also had been broken down. And how I look at that as the city is your home, your space, your dwelling area. And in order to repair that, that takes community. I look at it almost like the embodiment of a congregation. And it won't be just one being repaired. It's also letting you know that you're not the only one dealing with the trials and tribulations. You're not the only one going through what you're going through. You're not the only one being attacked by multiple covens. You're not the only one running for your life. Like, you're not the only one dealing and enduring these hardships and these trials and tribulations. And when you find your family, when you find your congregation, when you find your community, there will be restoration. There will be a renewal. There will be a rebuilt city. And you and your congregation will be able to inhabit that and rejoice in that. And there'll be peace. Matthew 18:19. If my people who are called by my name humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and heal their land. It makes me think about when Cain and Abel's situation, and how Abel's blood had cried out from the land, and God heard it. And as I stated earlier, you are his people, we are his people. He hears us the same way we hear him. And it goes back to something I was discussing the other day with myself about how we look at it as, I gotta find the scripture, but it was stating about being one with the Father, and how you can't break that. And by you're not able to break that connection, therefore you will continuously always be one with the Father. So if he can, oh, that's a beautiful bird. If he can hear you and you can hear him, then that means that you have already committed to a covenant with him. Because, and I will give you a new heart and a new spirit, and I will put within you, Ezekiel 36:26, a new heart also will I give you, a new spirit will I put within you. I will take away the strong heart out of your flesh, and I will give you an heart of flesh. Ezekiel 36:26. So humble yourself and pray and seek his face and turn from your wicked ways. Then I will hear you from heaven, and I will forgive their sin, and I will heal their land. And it goes right back to that. It goes right back to that. The need of restoration, the need of healing, the need of a covenant, because you are the bride and he is the bridegroom. And when two become one, there is no way that they can find ways to use tools and devices and lasers and all this stuff that you can speak about in the Bible in order to detach you from him. There's ways that they try to tap in so they can try to hear God, or they can try to pretend to be God with all of their different tools, and it's just unnecessary, but it is what they're going to do because it's already written, so therefore it is true. But you stay strong and you stay steadfast, and you continue to keep going, because your endurance will never end, because he is within you, he dwells within you. There is no way that they can separate him from you, because the covenant has already been made. So you can denounce any and every type of activities that you have dabbled in, peeked at, touched, knowingly or unknowingly. You can denounce all the way back to your forefathers, your ancestors. But at the end of the day, once you've already made that covenant with God, therefore they cannot do anything to separate you from your maker. He created you in his image. Therefore, they have no power, no control over that. All they can do is try to get you to hurt yourself. All they can try to do is to get you to have a great deal of confusion. But at the end of the day, there is nothing that they can do to separate you from your Father, because it has already have been made. He has already sealed you up. So you hold your head up high. You keep moving forward. You keep going. And know that restoration is yours. Know that your will and spirit is always accepting your Father's joy. Know that no matter what, through all of these trials and tribulations, that you're receiving double grace. You're receiving double abundance. You're receiving your inheritance. Your land will be rebuilt again. You will be rejoicing with your congregation and your committee and everything. But you have to believe, and you have to have trust, and you have to have faith, because that is the whole gimmick. If I can continuously find a way to make you feel lack, even if it's a transfer of energy, you get up and you pray. Like I said, the binding of the feet and all of this stuff, all these tricks and traits and all these things, in order to get you to want to be a part of what they're doing, or in order to just falsely find a blindly way to get you to unknowingly be a part of it. And you get up and you pray. You don't be lazy about it. You connect with your Father, because at the end of the day, vengeance is his. And trust and know that anyone that is practicing or worshiping the little g's, or doing anything in a demonic field or demonic realm, and they're doing that to try to counteract with you, or try to harm you, or try to steal your destiny, or try to have you in stagnation, or whatever the case may be, it is not up to you to find the best way to cause them a great deal of harm. It is not up to you to find the best revenge for them. It is not up to you to find a way to harm them and inflict pain on them. You let God do that, because you don't know them the way that God knows them. You have no control and power over what you think. You may think that you can understand or have an idea what will hurt them or will harm them, but you really technically don't at all. God does. So I love you. You got this. Keep going, and don't ever give up on yourself. Just keep going. I love you. Amen.